Yo, what's up, Diamond family? It's your man Vivi, and welcome back to VVS Sound. As you guys know, I'm here every week dropping off gems, teaching you to record and mix your music better. So if you're into that, stick around. So look, man, I got a crazy video for you today. I'm going to be showing you guys how to clean up those muddy and poorly recorded vocals. All right, let's jump right into it. So we're actually going to be using our modern rap mix record template. It's down below if you need it. And we also have our free template still. If you haven't downloaded the free template, yo, go and get the free template. It's going to be a great starting point to make your recording sound punchy, clean, and get you where you're trying to get to very quickly, very easily, very consistently. So let me show you what I would do. I'm going to play you the rough vocal before we even add it to the template. So it's just going to be like what you would hear before we clean anything up. And then I'm going to show you kind of what we would do to it. So let's play the top of this verse.
Feel like a demon, up in this demon. I hate the gear, this bitch I'm a third. Pull up, pah, his brains on the curb. Chat be booming, the first and the third. Got some white boy shooters, I'll call them bird. Back row shit, my bitch came with some curves. He pitching the pack, he threw me a curve. Put a glick in his mouth, when the blow air make him burp. Hey, I see the bitch in.
All right, bet. So as you can hear, they're not the best vocals. They could be a lot worse, but they're not the best vocals. What we're going to do first is just drag them right down here into our lead vocal channel so that they're now inside the template, and we can hear what the template is doing to them. So there's a couple of issues with this vocal. The main two issues are, one, I can hear, you can tell it's recorded in a small room. You can hear that it was recorded in like a closet or some kind of small room because the buildup of frequencies kind of support what happens when you record in a small room. So we know that. That's one thing we have to overcome. The second thing we have to overcome is that the vocal was recorded too loud. So you can hear some parts where it's clipping a little bit, where it's a little overloaded, and it's simply because they probably should have turned the mic pre down and just turned up the channel volume right here within Pro Tools, which is something we already have set up in our template because we understand a lot of times when you're recording, especially rap vocals, it can get dynamic. There can be very quiet parts and very loud parts within the same take, but the most important thing is that you do not clip. And so unfortunately, this vocal does clip in a few places, but we're going to see how we can combat that. All right, so we dropped this right into our mix and record template. As you can see, the mix bus and master bus processing is on. So let's just play back just what it does when we drop it into the template. Again, this is the before.
Feel like a demon, up in this demon.
All right, now let's drop it into our template.
Feel like a demon, up in this demon. I hate the gear, this bitch I'm a third. Pull up, pah, his brains on the curb. Chat be booming, the first and the third.
And that's without touching anything. That's literally just moving it into the template. Those are the presets and settings that are already in there. So let's see how we can get better. So the first tip when you want to clean up a muddy or poorly recorded vocal is to de-ess. Once you get some de-essing going, it's going to kind of control the whole vocal a little bit better. You can kind of really understand what you're dealing with at that point. For me, I like to use Isotope's Nectar for the de-ess, and I actually already have it set up at 4.6 kilohertz. So let's hear that.
Feel like a demon, up in this demon. I hate the gear, this bitch I'm a third.
Right, so let's hear it without it.
Feel like a demon, up in this demon. I hate the gear, this bitch I'm a third. Pull up, pah, his brains on the curb.
What you're hearing actually is we're attenuating, or we're turning down actually a lot of high end, right? We're turning down a lot of the high end, but what it does is give the vocal more body. It makes it more concise, and we can really start to pinpoint those trouble low-end muddy frequencies that are hurting this vocal. So the first thing we're going to do is set up a de-esser. Then we're going to go to our EQ. Step two, we're actually just going to do a roll-off. High-pass filter, where we're rolling off the lows and we're letting the highs pass. That's all. You can see I've already done the rest of the EQing as well, but I'm actually just going to turn these off right now. We'll just listen to the high-pass filter. And so everything from this point, what frequency do we have this set to? Everything from 136 and below is being turned down, is being rolled off, and everything above that is being allowed to pass through unaffected. And that's what a high pass filter does. So let me just play the high pass filter.
Feel like a demon, up in this demon. I hate the gear, this bitch I'm a third.
Right, and really these subtle moves, the de-essing, the high pass filter, they're just the things that are gonna kind of clean up the vocal and kind of hold it together. Give it a little bit of consistency. And those things are really going to help us to kind of dig out and dial in what we need to do. So let's hear that without the high pass filter, and then we'll hear it with again.
Feel like a demon, up in this demon. I hate the gear, this bitch I'm a third.
Right, now with it.
up in this demon. I hate the gear, this bitch I'm in third. Pull up.
Perfect. All right, so now we're far from where we started, right? Honestly, if I had to leave the vocal with that and I couldn't really touch it too much more, I would be very happy considering where we started. But let's go a step further. So after we do the high pass filter, then we're going to do what's called an EQ sweep. And so I'm going to take this EQ band right here and I'm going to narrow the Q. I'm going to make it a little more thin and I'm actually going to boost it. I like to boost it around 8, 9. I don't like to go too far above 10 because when you've got a narrow Q like that and you're sweeping through, you can find everything's going to sound crazy to you when you boost it crazy. So I like to try to boost it 8, 7, 8, at most 10 dB when I'm sweeping. That way I'm not being tricked. You know what I mean? It's really what's standing out to us. So let's listen to what this is boosting and then figure out what we should cut from there.
Feel like a demon, up in this demon. I hate the gear, this bitch I'm in third. Pull up, bah, hit brains on the curb. Chat be booming, the first and the third. Got some white boat shooters, I'll call them bird. Back row shit, my bitch came with some curves.
So basically, you can hear that's what I mean when I say it was recorded in a small room. You can hear the room. You can hear the room, and you can hear that it was too small. So let's and I'm going to show you another way that you can also hear the small room. But right now, that frequency, that tubbiness, that muddiness is what is a result of recording in a room that's too small. So let's play again.
Feel like a demon, up in this demon. I hate the gear, this bitch I'm in third. Pull up, bah, hit brains on the curb. Chat be booming, the first and the third. Got some white boat shooters, I'll call them bird.
Yeah, right in there, 270, 275-ish. Honestly, I will generally find the frequency that I'm looking to cut, and then I'll move up just a few numbers, just so that when I cut it, the point of the EQ isn't turning that down, but it's kind of off axis a little bit, and so the attenuation is less sharp, it's less severe. So that's just a little tip I do. Let's try to go down. Let's start off with 3 dB and see what that does for us.
Feel like a demon, up in this demon. I hate the gear, this bitch I'm in third. Pull up, bah, hit brains on the curb. Chat be booming.
I think we cut a little bit too much, so let's try to go 2 dB, and then we're actually gonna widen the Q a little and see what we get.
Feel like a demon, up in this demon. I hate the gear, this bitch I'm in third. Pull up, bah, hit brains on the curb. Chat be booming, the first and the third. Got some white boat shooters, I'll call them bird. Back.
Perfect. So I like that a little better. I was a little high. Let's hear it.
Feel like a demon, up in this demon. I hate the gear, this bitch I'm in third. Pull up, bah, hit brains on the curb. Chat be booming.
And if you'll notice, I'm EQing and working on this vocal, but you haven't seen me do any work in solo yet. Because you don't listen to a song in solo, you listen to it as a whole overall track. So you want to make sure that when you're working on EQing your vocals and cleaning things up, that you do everything with the music playing, the beat playing, all of that. Because if you're working in solo, you're tricking yourself. You haven't heard the way that the instrumental is affecting the beat. You haven't heard how the whole song together is gelling. So make sure that you try to leave that solo button alone and work, within the context of the entire track, the beat and everything, as much as possible. Okay, so I like where we have this low end dugout here, but I also hear some harshness in the upper range of the vocal, and that's also probably a result of the small room. It's probably just got some flutter echoes that are going back and forth and feeding back into the mic. So let's hear what frequency I dug out right here.
Feel like a demon, up in this demon. I hate the gear, this bitch I'm in third. Pull up, bah, hit brains on the curb.
And as you'll see, like that frequency is something that probably you would want to boost sometimes, but really those things, when you boost those mid-range frequencies like that, it starts to make the vocals sound cheap. It sounds like you recorded through a thin, a cheap mic, or you recorded in a way that wasn't the best way. You want to keep your vocals as full and with as much body as possible, and really cutting out some of that mid-range up in that $1,000 to $3,000 $1 to $3K range really starts to give the vocal again more body. It gels it together better, and it just makes it to feel more expensive, which is what you want. You want your joint to feel expensive, right? So we dug out, what is that, 1.6. Let's listen again to see if we can get a little more out of there.
Feel like a demon, up in this demon. I hate the gear, this bitch I'm in third. Pull up, bah, hit brains on the curb. Tap be booming the first and the third. Got some white boy shooters, I'll call them bird. Back row shit, my bitch came with some curves. He pitching the pack, he threw me a curve. Put a glick in his mouth, when the blow air make him burp. Hey, I see the...
Okay, cool. So the last thing I did to this vocal is I just boosted some high end. We're de-essing and we're taking off a lot of high end. We're digging out this mid range and the 1 to 3K. We need to boost some high end. We need to bring some back. So let's just go ahead and I'm boosting from. I moved it from about 485K and up. And it's just a 1.95, so basically 2 dB boost. And let's hear what that's doing for us. Let me turn that on. Let's hear.
Feel like a demon, up in this demon. I hate the gear, this bitch I'm a third. Pull up, pop, his brains on the curb. Tap be booming the first and the third. Got some white boy shooters, I'll call them bird. Back row shit, my bitch came with some curves. He pitching the pack, he threw me a curve. Put a glick in his mouth, when the blow air make him burp. Hey, I see the...
Perfect. So that's where we want our vocal to sit, right? And all we've done is what? DS and 1 EQ. We could take it a step further. Of course, the vocal should be compressed. The vocal should be saturated. We could still add some EQ moves and all that stuff. But really, right now, we're just talking about cleaning up what we started with. And this, from where we started from, is a crazy point. So let's go back and hear where we started at, which is back here.
Feel like a demon, up in this demon. I hate the gear, this bitch I'm a third. Pull up, pop, his brains on the curb. Tap be booming the first and the third.
Right, now let's hear what we got.
Feel like a demon, up in this demon. I hate the gear, this bitch I'm a third. Pull up, pop, his brains on the curb.
You hear how the vocal just sits inside the song now? It's not sitting on top of the beat. It's not up there feeling like it's detached from the song. The whole song feels like a cohesive thing now, which is what we wanted. Hey man, this is just really a cool starting point. You can really go crazy from here, and I think you should. But really, if you got some vocals that aren't the best recording, this is the way to clean them up. Hey, look, man, that's all I got for you today. My name is VV. If you need anything, man, drop me a line below. My email is there. You can check out the templates we have available, and please go download our free template. I'm telling you, it's going to change the way that you make music. All right? So, hey, man, y'all stay safe. Y'all stay humble. Make diamonds only. Peace.
Feel like a demon, up in this demon. I hate the gear, this bitch I'm a third. Pull up, pop, his brains on the curb. Tap be booming the first and the third. Got some white boy shooters, I'll call them bird. Back